Hello, everybody, and sorry about the delay in switching over. Someone asked me to do them a grand favor as I was looking for my glasses. All right, and I'm doing this grand favor again. In the middle of a stream. So, all right, sorry about the delay, everybody. It's only been 2 minutes, so that's good. Anyway, welcome to another tabletop review. Tabletop review number 105. I've done 105 tabletop reviews since I've been active. Unfortunately, I don't think that number is big anymore. Not a. Let's see. I've been around since 2021, 2022 maybe. About 2 years. So 2 years, I only have 105 reviews done. So this is number 105th, and we are going to talk about The World of Darkness. Now, before I start showing off some great things about it, this copy of The World of Darkness, I actually am expecting a physical copy of the book. I also bought the PDF from drivethrurpg.com. It was $30 plus shipping and handling. So, I mean, for what it's worth, it is what it is. And it's from White Wolf Publishing. Or White Wolf Game Studios. So, a lot of you are probably asking, why am I doing one on this one when we also have the Chronicles of Darkness in a more updated version? Well, unfortunately, everybody, I started with this book here. Well, that's one review per week. Just about, yeah. So I started with this book here. This was my main book, diving into the World of Darkness, before we dived into even other books alongside it, such as Vampire the Requiem, Werewolf the Forsaken, and including Mage the Awakening. So this is what I actually this is actually the one that I actually prefer, just because it's where I basically started. So before we begin, I just gotta say that as far as artistic value and cover goes and display goes, this has got thumbs up across the board. Very well thought out. Very good. The system is something to be desired, because a lot of people, when you play tabletop RPG games or tabletop games, you tend to want a little bit more bang for your buck, such as character advancement. And I know that a lot of people are a lot like that, but that's because when we started out with tabletop games, we started off with Dungeons and Dragons. And most of us even started out with Dungeons and Dragons as getting us into it, as we're discovering other things on our fantastic journey, with tabletop gaming. So before we keep going here, let's begin to talk about the system. The system is a storytelling system, which is actually very basic information using a dot system. The point dot system is basically you use dots to generate a dice pool, and the dice pool is generated by how many, and when you generate the dice pool, you're holding a certain level of dice. Each dot that you are saying that you have accessible to you during a single roll, such as, for instance, if I wanted to do something kind of smarty, and it was like, okay, I definitely am going to throw out something smart here. I would roll intelligence plus academics. Intelligence could be very easily 3 dots, while academics is 1 or 2 dots. We'll just say 1. That is 4 dots altogether. And what you do is you gather up as many as the d10s, a number of d10s equal to the dots that you have accessible to you. Now, like I said, we're going to do an intelligence roll. Academics is 1 dot, while intelligence is 3 dots. I get to roll 4 d10s. While rolling 4 d10s, you set the target number. Generally, the default target number is 8. However, that can go up or down based on the storyteller and how far they want to take the story, and how easy or hard they want to make something. For every 8 or higher that you roll is basically a success. Every 10 that you roll is a roll again. Now, there is even some optional rules where you can make 8 a roll again, and you can make 9 a roll again. Basically affecting the critical threat range for your players, giving them a little bit more easy time. Effectively, you would also lower the difficulty for that. So so the default is 10 is a roll again, and that's it. And then you have 8 or higher is a number of success. Now I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to roll on. I'm going to make this dice pool right here using a dice roller, and I'm going to show you guys basically what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's see here. And Archer Cullen, I forgot to say thank you for joining me today. This is definitely glad that you're here, sir. So we're going to go to Chrome here. We are going to change this around, and I am basically going to show you guys what I'm talking about here. Oh, and Mrs. Tabletop is here too. Milk and cookies. You made me get milk as I'm effectively running a stream, so I don't want to hear it. Except unlike most people, I came back from the milk store. What? I'm just kidding. All right, so we're going to go with 4d10s. All right, so effectively, if we go with the default rules, I have 2 successes here. I have 2 8s. I have nothing higher than 8. I have everything lower than 8, which means these are 2 failures. So I have 2 successes. So that's pretty much it. You can send, so that, I mean, honestly, that's actually a really easy system. You don't actually generate experience and advancement very much in a system like this. This is more for storytelling. So it's basically rules light system mixed in with some storytelling. So it's mostly role play. If you have, now this system has introduced a few things. We just said basically what a skill roll is. Basically, you would align one attribute with one skill. The skills are separated within 3 categories: mental, physical, and social, while using something like this. And I am actually going to switch my screen share to this. All right, let's see if I can back out of it at least a little bit. There we go. Oh, no, that did not work at all. All right. So this system is rolled into. We're not going to do that. So this system is basically rolled with a 3x3 chart here. So you have. So up here you have your power attributes, your finesse attributes, and your resistance attributes. The good news is these attributes are actually spelled out in 2 different categories each. So you've got power, finesse, if you can see my cursor, and resistance. Then you're wondering, well, where does mental, physical, and social comes in? Mental, physical, and social. Basically, simply like that. So intelligence is a power intelligence roll, or power mental roll, whereas dexterity would be more or less finesse and physical roll. And manipulation is, and you know what, and just because I want to use one of each category, composure is a resistance social roll. Simple, very simple as that. So that is how attributes is actually done. I actually like that. I think that is very creative. I definitely give a thumbs up for that. The skills is very well done. You don't need a lot of skills. You can almost fit, these skills are so broad, you can almost fit them into you can almost fit them into various scenarios. And you can actually specialize in a few of them as well. And when you specialize, that means you write something on the line that you guys all saw the lines. You write something on that line showing that you specialize in it. Now, this game also has another thing that adds a little bit of a twist. So during character creation, after you get your attributes and skills, you get a certain number of points for attributes. You get a certain number of points for skills. Next you choose is actually your, you don't really choose, but chapter 4 is basically talks about advantages, which is like your defense, your health, your morality, initiative. Those are derived attributes at the very least, but we call them advantages in this one. And each one has its own like little flavor of what you use it for. Defense is actually defending against attack, both ranged or melee. Morality is actually what sins you do or do not do. Most morality starts off at 7, which means if you are selfish and you do some selfish acts, such as withholding charity, you injure someone else, or you just do a little bit of petty theft, you don't really lose morality. But if you do something worse, like you say, you know, Grand Theft Auto, and you threw a mother out and took her child and stuff like that, I would say, that actually goes into Grand Theft and possibly kidnapping, which could lead you a certain number of dots you lose. So it'll take you either down to morality of 6, 5, or I would even say 4. Everything else, yeah, you have not done. And usually to go lower, you have to do a lot of crazy things. That would be considered a crime. So everyone gets to start off with innocent characters. There we go. And then, you know, you get health points and willpower generated, as well as an initiative. Initiative is basically the number of dots equal to dexterity plus composure. So if your dexterity is 2 and your composure is 2, then you got an initiative of 4. Yay that. All right, moving on to the, and also speed is a part of that. But like I said, that is all part of the advantages, which is also derived attributes. Speed is calculated by strength plus dexterity plus 5 for humans, 3 for human children. So basically, yeah, that's how you would generate your speed and get your rate of travel. I think when starting out, you just do the species, like the species factor or something like that, which generally for people, it's freaking 5. Let's see. I got it right here. One thing I am going to add is how they decided to it's strength plus number of dots equal to strength plus dexterity plus 5. Okay, so that's how you get speed. Jeez. So you have 3 in strength, 2 in dexterity. That's 5. You got a speed of 10. So there's that. Sorry, it had to pop away for a minute. Morality sounds very much like humanity from the original setting. Did you mention what the default is? Yes, it is 7. So basically, you can do some stuff and not lose morality, but then, depending on how much worse it is for you, then you're still going to lose morality. All right, so then we move into merits. Merits are basically special capabilities or knacks that add individuality to your character. There's basically, does your character have common sense? Is your character rich, poor, famous? Can your character fight? Can your character do this? And these actually add, depending on what level you buy them at, will actually, and when they come into effect, will actually play in your dice rolls as well. Once again, the number of dots you have, the more the more dice you get to roll. For instance, if you have a fighting style with 2-handed weapons, you have to have a dexterity of 3 and a weaponry of 3, and you're going to use 2-handed weapons. Very simply put, you could just I would say, because you have to have that. Give me 1 second. Because weaponry is a skill. I'd say you roll dexterity plus weaponry plus fighting style with 2 weapons. At 1 dot, you can cause whirling blades, which we'll talk about that later. We'll say you only have 1 dot. That means I get to roll 7 dice. So I'm going to roll 7 dice right now. And this was the shittiest roll of all frickin' time. I'm going to show you why. Let me know if any of you in chat, let me know if you see how this turns out to be the crappiest roll of all time. It's very, very simple. So I got to roll. So I'm using two-handed weapons. I'm using two blades. Wait, is it two weapons or two-handed weapons? Two weapons. I'm using two blades, like Daryl Dixon, Fighting Beta, and The Walking Dead. I literally got to roll 7 dice. It was the shittiest roll of all time. Can you figure out why that is? I will explain it. I got a 4, 7, 7, 2, 6, 6, 2. Not one of these are 8 or higher. Now, depending on if it stays the default, it will be 8 or higher. Every dice roll made it under, which means that is a failure nonetheless. Now, if the difficulty did change, which sometimes does change down to 7 or 6, in this case, that would be 4 successes, which is a little bit better. If it was 7, it's only 2. If it was 6, it'd be 4. Generally wouldn't go any lower, I don't think, than 4 or 5, really, so you would never really count some of these lower rolls. Let me see if I can get a higher one to show a better example. Alright, this one's a little bit better. So for 8 or better, I got 3 successes. I got a 9 and 2 8s. That is 3 successes. I wish I would have had a 10 to show you a roll again. But, you know, basically if you get a 10, you get to roll again and add that. So when you roll again, let's say I did get a 10. Let's say I got a 9. Let's say, hang on, let me see if I can at least get a 10 to pop up. If not, we'll make one a 10. All right, so 7 dice. I got 2 9s and an 8. All right, let's say that 1 is a 10. So that would be 4 successes. I would roll an additional die and count that. That's still a failure. So instead of 4, let's say this 1 is a 10. That would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a failure. These other dice you don't re-roll. So that's still 4 successes. Now imagine if this was 8 or higher, that would be 5 successes. Yes, and add that to your dice pool as a bonus for rolling again. That's generally how it is. That is so easy, right? So yeah, merits definitely add a little bit more specialty to your characters, making them kind of unique to the setting. Definitely cannot go against that. Anyway, the storytelling system is very simple. It follows a simple dot system, so therefore it comes with its own storytelling elements, dramatic effect, and also its own combat sequence of how to use the system to make combat. If 10 gives you another dice, does 1 have any adverse effects? 1 is technically an auto fail. Yes. So 1 is generally an auto fail to where you automatically fail regardless of what you get. So the way I would count that is, let's say for instance, I got a 10. I got a 10, a 9, 9, 8, and 8. So I got 5 successes because I got that 10 and I rolled an 8 on the other one. Well, if I got a 1, that 1 would take away success, basically. So that's what we call an autofail. So let's say I got 5 successes and out of like 8 dice that I rolled, 2 were 1s. So I got 5 actual successes, 2 were 1s, and the 1 didn't even bother. So those 2 1s would count against my 5 successes, making it only a 3, regardless of what I originally had. So yeah, that does have some adverse effects. With the system being very simplistic but very easy to learn, I definitely give it a thumbs up for being simplistic and making it very limited for character advancement. On paper, I give that a thumbs down. So far we have pretty much about 5. It's 5 to 1, folks. 5 to 1. So that's where we're at with that. Now to go a bit further into this, just a little bit. They do actually have a section with how the storytelling system works a little bit, and they even give you examples about how to set up a chronicle for this game, because this is basically like your character is the script. So the storyteller has a script, which would be the GM. You have your own character script about how your character is supposed to be played, and which of course generally you guys make up. So this, like I said, for simplicity, it definitely a 1, but definitely a thumbs down. But thumbs up for simplicity, easy to learn system, and definitely 3 for the artistical value, because this does have a lot of artistical value. And I think I had 1 just in there somewhere, but we'll say 6 to 1 is that this game is that this book is very well informative before going into the next book. And they do advise you, if you want to, play part of a different species, such as vampire, werewolf, or mage, to please buy those books. But you still need this book to actually play those books. Now, before we continue, the last thing I'm going to show off is the artistical value of this book. Now, I say artistical value because it is very artistical, but I wouldn't say let's put a value on it, I guess, but they do. I mean, it's very artistic. So I'm going to show off a little bit here. Not too much, because I say if you are interested in the World of Darkness, buy the book yourself. Because these books are not cheap, but they're not overly expensive. You won't be spending $60 per book, so I can at least tell you that much. All right, there we go. So this is the World of Darkness right here. As I said, very well, and it's basically its own thing, storytelling system rulebook by White Wolf Game Studios. But as you can see, a lot of art, a lot of artistical stuff went into this book. No, there is not any more artistic or flavor than there is information. So basically, you still get plenty of information going around. Yes, most of this book, as you can see, I just flipped through like the first 10 pages. It's basically nothing but art and flavorfulness. And then you basically got my rubric system where I told you guys about how to create a character and how, I didn't tell you how many points you got though, but we'll get into that. So if you guys want to know how to create a character too, it's not that hard, aside from the fact you may need a book to look up a few things. But here's how character creation works right here, folks. Right here. We're actually going to pull up a more interactive sheet, something to where I can blow it up just a little bit better. And just give me a hot second here. Mr. Gone has actually done some interactive sheets for people, so I would definitely would recommend that, looking him up. Okay, so here's an interactive sheet. Okay. Just give me a hot second here. There we go. All right. Had to do a refresh on that. That is retarded. Let's see if I can make this a little bit better. Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's get this scrolling down here. Well, so this is basically a single page, and you can, as you can see, it's very well editable. So you just add your dots. All right. So anyway, we won't save anything for this one, but we'll show you right down here. I'm going to scroll down and show you this. So this is what I was actually trying to show you guys earlier. Oh, for God's sake. All right, this is what I was trying to show you right here in the book. All right, so is basically this stuff right here. All right, so I'm going to show you guys how this would essentially work. All right, so you have attributes, groups, 5, 4, 3. You actually assign these points to a group. All right, well, let's see here. What group should I assign? Edible, you can eat it. Edible means you can make changes to it. You know what? We're gonna make Spartacus here. We're gonna make Christopher Spartan just because I like it. No, let's see. I think Chris is a very Chris has got a lot of faith, but he's very greedy. There we go. That's what we're going to call that. So, there we go. All right. So, this is how we would do it. I'm going to give Chris, I'm going to say 4, 3, and 5. Now, what that means is I assigned it from left to right, the groups. So 4, 3, and 5. Which means you can't put no more than 4 points of worth of dots in here, and each point is worth a dot. Each dot is worth a point. Yes, I am a jerk. All right. So I would say this very simply. I'm going to put 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, just to get him off the 1 point. But I'm going to increase his intelligence to at least a 3. So I added 4 dots, which is 4 points. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. You automatically get, when making a character, you automatically get the first dot, regardless. All characters have at least 1 dot. Next, we're going to assign 3 points to his physical attributes here. But I'm just going to do 1, 1, 1 across the board. That way, gives him more of a fairer chance. And then we are going to do his social, which is going to be 5. All right. So I would say for this, Chris has pretty decent composure, and he's pretty well presence. Does he have well manipulation? Probably not. But I only signed 2, so I still got 3 points. I'm going to give presence at least another one. So 1, 2, 3. I still got 2 more. We're going to do presence again. He can very well, his presence is very well suited for almost any job. Ha ha ha, motherfuckers. All right, so what that means, all right, so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 there, which means I could do, now I don't find Chris very manipulative. Haha. So maybe I can give him this 5th dot. No, I can't. That 5th dot is worth 2 points. In order to get 5 dots, the 5th dot, I would have to do, like, you could do it during character creation, but it might fuck your character over in the end. So let's say I put 3 points in presence and I want that 5th dot. That means I need 2 more points. Booyah. Even though I only have 4 dots, and I only put 4 dots in the social, and I should have 5, that 2nd dot counts as 2. So the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th dot is each 1 point. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then the 5th dot is automatically 2 points, regardless. So that's 1, 2, 3 plus 2, that's 5. That's how you would do that. However, I don't like maxing out characters' values like that easily. Only for the simple fact that actually, like, if I say, well, you need to make a, let's say you're socializing, someone gets you pissed off, you're angry, let's just put presence right here. You're angry, they pissed you off. Kind of like, we're just not going to use any examples just because I feel like I'm just asking to get in trouble. And your presence isn't working, but they've pissed you off. So it's going to be, you don't want to lose any willpower. For instance, we will generate willpower in a minute. So let's say you're socializing. Let's say, okay, so now you got skills, which is 11, 7, and 4. Well, his best one is his social skill, so I probably would say 11 would go down here. All right, so Spartacus actually literally has a dog, so we'll just use a dog here. Animal kin basically is your ability and affinity with animals. He has a dog, so we're gonna call him Wishbone. Yes, I totally went there. For that alone, all right, so we're going to say 11 is right down here, and you're allowed to take up to 3 specialties. That's one of his specialties. So we're going to put automatically 2 dots into that. All right, so the next thing that would, the next thing is, we'll put 2 dots in socialize. So that's 4. 1 dot in expression, 1 dot in empathy. So 1, 2, and these don't start off with dots at all. If you have dots in here, it is because you put them all in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, but see, so the first dot through this 4th dot is 1 point. The 5th dot is still 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We're going to say diplomat. He pretty much is always a diplomat when persuading. So that's basically how that would work. And then we're going to say, let's see, physical was his lowest, so we're going to say 4 points in that. We're going to say 1 point for athletics, 1 point for firearms, 1 point for drive, and 1 point for brawl. And he can do good with his fists. And he is very... Oh, nope, that would be 3. So he can't have any more until like later on. Oh, and then we'll tell you what these parentheses mean in a little bit. Okay, and then this one is about a 7, which I kind of like that because he is very well adept with politics, I think. So we're going to give him 3 points for that, 1 point for science. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 point with that, with computers, 5. Academics, 6. And we'll do academics again, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There we go. Now, anytime that you roll any of these skills unskilled, for instance, I need Chris to give me a dexterity stealth roll. You roll it with a -1 penalty, which means you automatically get a -1. So how does that work? Well, there's many different ways you can calculate that. You can minus the 1 from your successes, or I can increase the difficulty, which means since you've got to roll that, it's just better if you just minus it from your fucking successes. So I got 2 for dexterity and none for stealth, which means I take a -1 to the roll. So we are going, so I only get to roll 2 dice, which the odds are against him, very much so. Let me pull up the dice roller once more. And I'm not going to show off the dice roller. So the odds are against him. So we get 2 dice. And I got 2 failures. -1. I got 3 failures. I completely failed. No successes whatsoever. Let me see if I can roll it again. Okay, I got to roll again. All right. And no. So I got 1 10 and then I got a 2. The 10 allows me to roll another dice, so I got it at a 5, so it's still just 1 success. Then I -1 because it's unskilled, which means I got no successes. Again, I don't necessarily have any failures, per se, other than the fact that it's freaking unskilled. That was a 1. That was a failure. That was a horrible. Plus, I got 2 failures for that. So, yeah, basically, that just counts against your successes, I believe. You can actually refer to the rulebook for that, which I do recommend. I sometimes like to play it like that just because it's just who I am. You know, it's just me. All right. So, going back to the screen share here. All right, then you have merits that you can choose from, which this drop-down menu actually has a list of merits that you can choose from. I'm actually just going to choose a couple. Common sense. You actually can choose 7 points in merits. So there's 2. And once again, the 5th dot counts as 2 points. Let's see. Oh, yeah. And we're definitely going to do this. Boxing. And we're also going to do 2. Now, the good thing about this is, okay, so let's say Chris is in the middle of a fight. And he's brawling with his fists, which is also a specialty, which makes it a little bit easier for you to use that. So basically, it's going to be strength. I believe it would be, for that would be a strength roll. What's it say? Strength plus your brawling, which is 2, 3. And I believe you get another dice for using your fists, so that's 4. And then that. So I get to roll 6 dice. Whoop-de-doo. I think, personally, another way you could do it, but this is just me. If you're specialized in it, you can make it 1 level easier depending on how many dice you have into it, I guess. So instead of making it 8, you can make it a 7. But that's just me. It says in the book you actually add another dice. So I get to roll 6 dice for something that we don't normally get to roll 6 dice for. Alright, so I've got 1 success, which is a roll again. 2 successes. So I only got 2 successes for that. Let me see if I can get more than that. 1 success. 2 successes. 1, 2, 3 successes plus a roll again. Oh yeah, 3 successes. So yeah, there we go. Simple as that. So that's 4, and I got 3 more points. Well, guess what? We're gonna make Chris rich, or well, not necessarily rich, but you know what I'm saying. As soon as I can find fucking social. So don't mind some of this stuff. Some of the stuff is from other books as well. We probably it even tells you which books they're actually from. Apostle of the Dark One. Huh. Oh, here we go. Well, he's not going to necessarily be rich, but he's got 3 points in resources, which your max is 5. So there we go. That's how that works. All right, next is to calculate your health. Stamina plus your size. I believe your size is 5. So stamina plus your size. All right, so size is 5, stamina is 2, that is 7. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 health. Once you, now to mark them, you can mark them right down in these boxes and go, oh my god, I lost 1 health point, blah, 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 blah. And of course, your GM should be able to know how to set that up. Your willpower is your resolve plus your composure. So resolve is 2, composure is 1. So this is his willpower. Wow, he is not very willpowerfully. He probably has done some stupid shit. His defense is the lowest of dexterity or wits. Which is 2, dexterity is 2, so it's always 2. So that would be, what is that? Defense. Now that's natural defense. That's defense without adding in any armor. Armor would come in and do a separate thing, and eventually you'd add those two together. Initiative mod, dexterity plus composure. That would be 3. He has a dexterity, dexterity? Initiative mod, which is 3. Amen. Speed is strength plus dexterity plus 5. So 2, 4, 9. And if you didn't even put any points in dexterity or strength, you still got 2 for that. And then it's still plus 5. So yeah. And that's pretty much about it. And then this is dice mod, your range, clip size. Basically the dice mod is the damage. It's very simple. As you guys can see, very, very simple. We're definitely going to be playing into it. All right, so before we leave here, we are going to take in some questions here from the chat. All right, I've got to get something where I can premiere chat. I'm wondering if there's a way to do that with all the new modifications I made to OBS. All right, so before we continue, here we go. We've already made this review over 40 minutes long. You guys got review with character creation. So a quick rundown of character creation. I'm definitely going to do a workshop a bit more on character creation, and I think I already got a few going. So if you guys want to see that workshop, you know what? I may just get one going about 1 o'clock today. Because this is actually, we're getting ready to move on to other things. I just need a break from, I love Castles and Crusades. I just need a break from high fantasy for a little bit. I think it's time to get into more science fiction. All right. Sorry, I had to get something to drink. All right. So, Sparta Chris said, where's Yami Yugi when you need him? Wrong game. Archie Cullen, do you think it would be better to match priorities between attributes and skills, like allocate 11, 7, 4 in the same classes as you did 5, 4, 3? I think that's what I just did. Like, if I gave the attributes, if I gave, like, the attributes that match up with the social skills, which was, the social attributes, which was composure. I already forgot because I've already exited out of everything. That's basically what I did. If I gave them the highest attribute score, if I put more attribute points in that, I gave the other ones that's basically what I just showed. I may need to actually do that a bit more. All right, and then, oh, I just saw one merit where I want, please can we be playing in a historical era? No. Hey, he's the master of games, either way. Yes, just like me. And then, definitely some changes. Resolve has replaced Perception for starters. Um, so Resolve, I think Perception came in, they changed that, and Chronicles of Darkness, which that's like the next edition beyond this one, which we're not really actually doing. I'm like I said, I'm reliving my childhood days, man. Or my early gaming days, which was like my first couple years in. I played this game. I always played it wrong. I hated the fact that you have to keep, like, if you want to play Vampire the Requiem, everyone has to play a vampire. If you had to play a story in the World of Darkness, you only could play the race of the book you were using. And since we're using the core book is generally for mortals. I always thought that was kind of sad, but, you know, it kind of makes sense now. All right, well, that's everything that I have at this time. We've been actually going in this review for 45 minutes. Longest review I've actually posted ever, I think. For those who joined in, thank you so much for joining in, and to check me out later on as I've got more reviews coming straight to you. And to remember to work hard, play hard, game on, everybody. Have a great and wonderful day, and enjoy your weekend.